Planning Commission. 5:16. You want me to repeat all that? All right, I called the meeting to order. November 4th, 2024. All right, item number 1 is site plan review and floodplain development permit for 26 River Street. This Charge Smart EV seeks site plan review and floodplain development permit for the purpose of installing 5 dual port EV chargers at the Hampton Inn. Is there anybody here to speak on that?
Hi,
What?
good evening. My name is Bridget. I'm one of the project managers at Charge Smart.
Okay, so quickly go over what you want to do there?
Sure. Can I share my screen?
Sure.
Okay. Just sent a request for that. Okay. Just let me know if you can see the plans.
Okay, see that.
You got them? Okay. So, yep, we're looking to install quantity 5 dual port EV charging stations at the Hampton Inn in Cortland. I have a few different ways in which I can kind of walk through this project, but these are the engineering drawings, the preliminary drawings that were prepared by our engineering firm. So an overview snapshot of the project. We are looking to install a mid-span utility pole along the side of the property. And then we would be doing 5 charging stations. Like I said, they're dual port, so there's 2 ports per charger, so we could charge 10 cars at one time. We are proposing 4 along the back end of the property here, and then an additional one across the way, just because we couldn't fit all 10 in that same location. To zoom in a little bit on the project, we'd be running our underground conduit from the new mid-span pole down through this side of the property into our meter and panel board. The meter and panel board then would provide underground conduit run along the side of the parking lot here for the 4 chargers, and then we'd have to do some burrowing to get to lay the conduit for the additional station that's going to be across the way there. The charging stations look like this. We're doing these projects all over the place. We're actually doing another project in Cortland right now that's should be powered up on Wednesday. So I just wanted to mention that, and I can provide that address if you guys wanted to take a look. I guess this one's that might be in the village or the town of Cortland.
Could you share what that is, just out of curiosity?
Yeah. It's Cortland Hotel Group, Fairfield Inn. 3707 New York, or 281.
Oh, okay. Thanks. So that one. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so we had our chargers here, our panel detail, and then our signage and our bollard detail for the rack where the gear gets mounted, which is our meter and panel board. Also just think it's always helpful to get like a real shot of it. So luckily Google Maps has did a great job going around and filming a lot of the world. So this is the hotel. And like I said, there's already some mid-span poles over here. We would be installing an additional pole, and then would run the conduit along the property line to here, meter and panel board again back here, and your charging stations along this line. And again, another one would be placed in this area, just a single station over here. But we have some water, I guess.
Yeah, so that's what I wish Roy was here, but there's, in his notes, he has something about it being in the floodplain and it needs to be 2 feet above. Oh, not sure.
So I did a little bit of calculations with my team before the meeting, and it looks like the river is at 332 meters. And our stations would be at 336. And we did measure this transformer next door, which is actually at the same level as where our stations would be. This is also at 336. So we're looking at 12 feet above. The bottom of the stations would be 12 feet above the river level. I don't know how, is this in a like 100-year floodplain? Is this something that floods regularly?
So this says service equipment shall be located at least 2 feet above the base flood elevation. Or to be designed to prevent water from entering and accumulating within the components.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
There it is.
Where? There you are, just in time.
You want me to hear when you walk in?
Yeah.
They're in the main document. Highlights the section.
So we're talking about the electric vehicle chargers at the Hampton Inn.
Yep.
I know you made notes of it being the height above 2 feet above the base. So we were just discussing that.
I mean,
You have more information on it and
notes about
she's
what?
kind of in, she's on line with us here, indicating she thinks it's above that level. Is that something that?
Yeah, it's probably this, so that the middle area comes up. Remember when we did the housing project for next door? The, right next door in that vacant lot.
Yeah.
You remember how that little middle area kind of came up above flood elevation?
Yeah,
I think this is generally the same thing.
okay. So it's meeting the requirements of being above that more than 2 feet above that base level, wherever that is.
As far as I know, yes, but they need to provide, I mean. Not, it's supposed to be, but it's electric and it's gonna have to have all that's gonna be EFI'd and paneled anyway, so. It's not gonna float away.
Yeah. Well, I'm not concerned about so much as just
What's the size of the
Meeting the
service
requirement.
that we're bringing in? How many?
So it's a 400 amp service, and we can put an emergency shut off in the panel, so that's a requirement. And we can also power down the stations. The stations themselves, all the circuitry is 3.5 feet. So like the components of the actual charging station, obviously you have conduit that's running up through, but you know, we can power down the station if we needed to, if you guys were aware that there was going to be
You need a separate disconnect at the one unit they're putting on its own.
I think we need a separate disconnect, but I think that should be EFI'd as well, because that's big power. Can you GFI switch that big? I'm not an electrician, I don't know.
Are you asking me?
Sure. Asking anyone.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Also not an electrician, so I can't answer that. But I do know that other municipalities have required that we are just have an emergency shut off, and we just are able, I mean, we can also power down the stations remotely if we're worried about, you know, just any sort of power running through them if they were obviously going to be underwater.
It's pretty big power and it's right in the flood zone, so
Yeah, I guess, I don't know.
emergency shut off would be
I
better.
don't know if you heard, they're doing like a number of units in one location and a separate unit in a different location. I mean, I just think you should have a disconnected.
One location, yes.
Well, I'd do them in both. I mean, you can't be so far away
Okay,
from the
sounds
piece
good
of
to me.
equipment. That's my only concern, is you gotta be able to shut down the power, but then.
Yeah,
Unless whatever,
we would shut it down right at the meter panel board, and that would handle all 5 stations having power cease to going to them.
but one shut off would handle both of them. Both.
Yeah, one shut off would handle all 5 stations because they are all the power is running through that panel board before it gets to the stations itself. So, you know, we could cease power right there.
as long as you meet code with the distance away from the disconnect to the units, that's fine.
Do you know what that is?
I
The
don't
dis-
know in my head, but hopefully you've got an electrical engineer that's gonna tell you what that is. Well.
Yep.
Pending that approval? Well, it's gotta be to code, yeah, you know, that's.
Well,
Can-
Atlantic Inland has got to inspect the whole thing anyway, but from the rough end, right to the final, so.
Right, I would just ask that question, so you know if you need to bring a separate disconnect over or not, as you're throwing conduit in the ground.
Should I talk with the inspector before I
Yeah.
propose anything? Is that
I told you we prefer Atlantic Inland in the city. So I would talk with them.
Yeah, I mean, we use them regularly. We have that, like I said, that other project going on in Cortland right now, and they're doing the inspection for it, so, okay.
Okay, so do we need to do a floodplain permit also, or is this,
It's in a floodplain. I mean, the property's in a floodplain.
okay, so what does that require of us? I don't know what.
We need to make, so whatever construction is, I mean, it's not a structure, so it's not gonna have a lot of damage to it, but we need to, because it's in a floodplain, and they're doing construction in a floodplain.
Yeah.
We need to make sure it's as flood-proof as possible. And I think the most we can do is this is the shutters.
There's something that as a board we need to approve or vote on.
Yeah, you gotta approve the floodplain development. Permit. Because they're developing in the floodplain. It's not as bad as most of this other stuff, but it's still in there.
Vice Chair, I suggest we take two separate motions.
Two separate motions.
One on the site plan review and a separate on the floodplain development.
Okay,
I guess I have one question before we do that. Is part of like the comprehensive plan that's going on, or are we just gonna let all these stations come in? Or are we gonna have some direction as to where we want them to go? Or we just approved the ones across the street at Denny's last month? Or are we just gonna keep approving these and because we think that's the way the future is gonna go? Or
I
for the
honestly
election to
don't know
happen
the
and
answer
see
to
which
that
way it's
question.
gonna go? Or-
I don't know the answer to that question.
Right, I mean, I just think we need to have a plan, obviously, we can let this one go, but as a group. We need to be thinking, okay, are we just approving these, or do we wanna strategically move them here?
I mean, personally, I think it's a good idea for hotels with overnight stay. I don't know how good of an idea it is for fast food restaurants.
No, I agree, this one makes more sense to me than Denny's, but that one's already said, so.
all right, so that's
I
something.
don't mean to butt in on this, but like one of the New York State initiatives right now where you get a lot of funding is to put them in at hotels. So, you know, your project can be near free through a NYSERDA funds grants that the state is offering, for the Make Ready program right now. And these are level 2 chargers, so they're not quick chargers. Like if you see a Tesla charger, that'll charge your car in 30 minutes, or a DCFC. These chargers take 4 to 6 hours to charge, so they make sense for overnight guests who are driving EVs. This is not going to be a charging station that just people are going to like stop in and charge their car for a few minutes. Like this is going to be, you know, would strictly be probably hotel guests, unless somebody got in a really bad bind and they needed to charge their car for an hour.
Is it gonna be for fee or is it gonna be, there's no cost for hotel guests?
No, it's just like a gas station. So you'll pay per kilowatt hour that you're hooked up to, and you do it all through the app. Like, you know, there's an app, and I mean, you can pay, you know, using the screen and a credit card, but most EV drivers are finding their stations via an app.
Okay. So we'll deal with the site plan review first. Unless there's any more questions? Someone like to make a motion to approve the site plan? Motion. Second?
Second.
More discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. That one's passed, I guess. So next we gotta do the, what is the correct wording for it?
Floodplain development.
So can I get a motion to
I'll make a motion.
approve that
Make a motion to approve the
floodplain development permit? Perfect.
With the installation of emergency shut-off. That was the
With
stipulation.
with the stipulation, yeah.
Emergency shut off, that needs code.
The hands off side.
Yeah.
I trust the process there.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a first, a second? Okay, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Seconded.
All right, I think we're all set. Thank you.
Okay, is there next steps for me now? You obviously will get the stamped plans revised, and I'll get those signed and sealed. And you want me to mail them into you, or does
So you
there?
filed the permit?
Yeah, I sent over all my paperwork already, so I think we already sent them to you.
I probably won't be issued till next week, but I'll get it done.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, good
Have a
luck.
great night, everybody. Yep.
Joe.
Bye.
All right, back to my notes here. All right, Joe.
Good, library.
This is where I would help with each paper. All right, agenda item number 2, site plan review for 32 Church Street. The Cortland Free Library seeks site plan review for the purpose of installing a freestanding 4x6 sign in front of the building.
So this was just, the only reason why this is on it is because it had to go to historical. It's a minor review.
Okay,
So that's the only reason why this is on it. So there's
so
no.
there's nobody here to speak on this, I'm guessing? Okay. And it's already,
And it's already up. which is great.
Approved it.
Huh?
historical's approved it,
Yeah. historical.
Yeah, put these.
so. Does anybody have anything they'd like to discuss about this?
I mean, I guess you could say it's a change to the exterior of the building, yes, landscaping.
Okay, so can I get a motion to approve the site plan review for 32 Church Street?
I so moved.
And second,
I'll second.
any more discussion? All in favor? Anyone opposed? No one's opposed, so that passes also. Be caught up in. On to agenda item number 3, site plan review for 128 Main Street. E.T. Cook LLC seeks site plan review for the purpose of constructing an addition to the rear of the building to house a kitchen. Here to speak about that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you give us your name and
Eric Cook, another
Okay.
property owner.
tell us what you got planned?
Basically just putting a roof on the section that's open in the back to expand the kitchen areas. Sort of master.
Okay. And see. And see. Yeah. There's good drawings of what we're looking at here.
Yeah, there was a survey.
There is drawings there too. Fluid building permit, that's just mine.
How many variances are tied to this one? Just
Three? That,
3 variances.
3 or 4,
So
Great.
max building footprint, 10-foot, 10-foot buffer between, business and a residential zone and, building height.
And you've already received those variances,
Yes.
correct? Okay. Do you have any questions about this project?
There are plans if you go to the building permit. So the kitchen that's there is really tiny. It was designed more to cook bar food when it was a stone lounge. I think you're gonna turn it into a more upscale restaurant kind of thing or whatever. So it definitely needs a bigger kitchen.
All right. If you has any questions or concerns, will I get a motion to approve the site plan review for, was it 128 Main Street?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, also moved. So the kitchen, you don't have any plans for the kitchen or anything yet, right?
But really, it's more of like just the open area of having like coolers, freezers, you know, prep area and stuff like that. They put a hood in, a couple years ago, but it's just like, like a wash area and then like the kitchen, there's really no other area for anything else. And essentially, like, the building's not going out any further. I don't know if you have plans there, it's two buildings side by side that are existing. And we're basically just covering those two buildings. It's not going further toward any property, in any direction. It's covering that an open back area between the two buildings.
So tearing off the two smaller roofs and then putting one big roof that
Correct.
spans the whole thing.
Yes,
So it'll be a little higher.
but not higher than the front,
Okay,
just. It's quite lower than the front of the building, so.
You're not impacting any of the parking, right? Parking stays as.
There is no. parking.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
And you'd make sure that the kitchen, when finished, would be up to code.
Yeah, I mean, the kitchen. Yeah, it's brand new. I don't think he's ever used it.
Right, so.
I've already made sure that kitchen was up to code. If he does any expansion, yes, I'll make sure it's anything is up to code.
I don't need more questions, I'll make a motion.
Okay, maybe the second.
Seconded.
All right, any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Good luck.
Good luck. Now, the decision sheet for you, somehow I missed that, so we'll get that again. Okay.
What kind of restaurant you putting in?
I'll let you know. I think you
Is
guys.
it as to be determined or seeker?
Yeah, I'll just,
Both.
yeah, I'll hold it. I know what we're doing, but
Okay.
I'll let everybody know.
Should have held the
Keep us-
motion until I
keep us-
answered that question.
Yeah, keep us guessing. All right, thank you.
Hey, you guys have a good day.
You too. Okay, on to agenda item number 4, lot line adjustment, consolidation and seeker determination 172, 174, and 178 Homer Ave. Christopher Community Incorporated seeks to consolidate parcels for multi-use development and seeks a seeker environmental assessment determination. All right.
Moving forward with the plan.
Yes, exactly.
Right,
So we've been working with you guys throughout the summer and got our approval in September for the site plan. Thank you for the time and all the efforts that went into that. With that meeting, we kind of decided that we wanted to do a long form instead of a short form. So that was all good. And then we would say maybe it would get done administratively in October. I understood that you guys had some questions, tabled it, just wanted to come in tonight and kind of read this open letter, and then kind of have a discussion from there. So dear City of Portland Planning Commission, this letter is an open letter concerning seeker subdivision and site plan extension that are integral to the approved Bridgeview Commons project located at 172, 174, 178 Homer Ave. Regarding seeker, this is a critical step to get this project funded and built. In the eyes of the funding agency, seeker approvals are required when considering which project will be supported. The long EAF has been provided along with a letter committing to cleaning up the tank located on the gas station parcel at 178 Homer Ave in accordance with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation regulations. The developer has committed to remove the discovered underground storage tank in conforming with New York State PBS regulations and to remediate any resulting environmental impacts for a soil and groundwater management plan approved by the New York State DEC. Given that the site is a redevelopment and the environmental quality of the subject parcels will be greatly improved with the project construction and negative declaration is sought after. The approved site plan proposes the combination of 2 lots under a subdivision action. Subdivision plan has been provided and its approval is necessary to support the approved site plan. Upon the project being funded, the lots will be subdivided prior to applying to building permits. And finally, a site plan approval extension of 18 months is requested due to the timeline of the funding process. Land use attorneys commonly use the arbitrary and capricious argument when advocating for these extensions. So just wanted to dive into the lot combination. We would be okay with the preliminary approval. You know, we know that this has some balls up in the air with the funding that we gotta get, and we don't wanna get too far ahead of you guys by blocking in the combination before all the gears are in motion. So understood that cities have a pretty efficient way of doing like the subdivision process, so after this is approved, they're probably gonna wanna get it done right away, so we would be okay with actually waiting to do that combination until after the funding. So I don't think that subdivision final approval and filing needs to happen right now. We just wanted to make sure that all the actions that we were doing were covered by the seeker, so we wanted to submit that subdivision application and the plan. But knowing that, you know, we wouldn't move on that until the project's funded and definitely going forward. So I don't know if there's any preliminary approval that you would give, and that extends, and then final, would be, you know, we would have to have them combined before building permits are issued. That's usually how it works in other cities. So just wanted to offer some clarification there and then open it up to any questions.
Okay, what do you think we should do for subdivision? Is there an order?
Yeah,
That makes sense.
do the lot consolidation
Lot
first,
consolidation.
then the seeker.
And I think there were some questions last time about that related to the gas station and discovery environmental.
Yeah, so we know it's there. We're committed to cleaning it up before the project advances. The state funding, homes community renewal will make sure that happens. And, you know, now that it's there and everyone knows about it, the seller just has to deal with it. So and given that it's going to be regulated by New York State DEC, there's mechanisms in place to make sure it's done properly. And looking at this from an environmental quality aspect as a whole, you know, this project will be improving that area greatly in terms of environmental quality, so we feel the negative declaration is justified.
Okay. Well, I think there was some concern last time too about potentially doing a lot consolidation. And then possibly you might not want to do that.
Yeah, so the approval doesn't necessarily mean that it's happening, we still have to, you know, file the map with the county. So this is just a placeholder. Not really a placeholder, but just a step in the right direction towards, you know, making sure that all our legal stuff is taken care of and that any board action is covered under this seeker.
And that makes sense. That was our whole life. It's like, what if it doesn't go forward, but it sure did, what you said just now.
Right.
So that's fine. Did we get the full seeker to look at last time? I don't remember even diving into it, or was it available? And because I don't see it as part of this.
I don't,
Yeah, the long form was submitted, probably at last September meeting.
Like it wasn't found out though. That is.
Right, it was like on us to fill it out, and I don't.
Yeah, the part two is usually when
Yes,
you guys go through and just say like mild or severe, and then, you know, that would happen at the meeting.
so I have their short form completion. But have you submitted something subsequent to that?
Yeah, I submitted a long EAF to Roy. I'm not sure if that got distributed to the board
So,
or if the part two and resolution was prepared for this meeting.
I gave you paperwork today that they got a part two right there, they got answer those.
yeah, but but was it? What I'm looking at is not completed.
They gotta, these guys they gotta go through those questions.
That's it.
So we have to.
Yeah, that's the short one.
I get it. It's a similar.
You submitted a long form.
Yes.
So. There's a corresponding
Part
checklist.
two, that's the long one.
Well, I don't have their.
Okay, I'll go look for it. Let me go, well, I apologize, hold on. Sure.
So I guess, do you want, shall we act on the lot consolidation? while we're waiting?
Yeah.
Sure.
I get a motion to approve the lot consolidation for, what were the addresses? 172, 74, and 176?
Well, 172 through 174 and 178.
I'll make a motion for those addresses.
Okay. A second?
I'll second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, so we'll pass that part.
Assuming everything
Second.
goes. Oh, go ahead, sir.
Oh, go ahead, you gotta,
No, it was no. You gotta wait on money, right?
so they're all,
We also talk about the extension.
the extension, so you're taking an extension for 18 months.
For however long you'd be comfortable giving, you know, I'll be happy to come back in, update you.
That's based on the
Where-
funding you're trying to.
Yeah, so that's gonna take a while. We had to get all our plans together and do.
Do you have an idea when the timetable is for when they're gonna look at it and when they?
So without, you know, we didn't have the secret approval, we technically missed our window for application this fall. We will, you know, make the next round in the spring. And then, you know, we'll have everything in line, great project, honestly, and we definitely anticipate it being funded. So however, I know the approval's for 6 months, I think, so, you know, a year would be great. We'll come back in next fall, update you with everything that's going on, where we're at with the funding state process, and then just kind of keep kicking this down the road as we need to. But we anticipate, you know, that we would be funded in April 2026, and at that point. They say, okay, here's the tax credits, and then the developers move in with hiring contractors, everything, and so we basically need. The extension until that construction starts that season, basically, the closing would probably happen. In November of 2026. Anywhere between July and November of 2026, depending on if they can get the ducks in a row. At that point, you know, we would basically be keeping that extension going until we, you know, had the building permits issued, which would be, you know, before the closing.
I'd be comfortable doing a year extension, come in, get an update of where they're at
Just do it in 12 months.
next fall, and then they'll be. And we know what's going on. I think that's fair.
So if that's your motion for a year, I'll second it.
I was just suggesting what the motion might be, but yeah, we, sure, okay, sure, we can take that, we'll take that as my motion for a year extension, sure.
That'd be fine with you?
Yeah.
Do a 12-month
Very
extension, so we had a motion for a 12-month extension. Mike made the motion, Randy, second.
Yes.
Any more discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? That's.
6 months, you said? 12-month extension from the date that we approved from the October meeting.
I thought from now.
We'd be back in August, or, yeah.
I thought it was from now.
Let's see,
When was the actual?
we approved the site plan September.
So September 9th. And he was saying fall, yes. If he goes back to September, it should be good.
You know by August next year, you know stuff, right?
Yeah.
September, we got.
Be a good update, yeah.
Okay.
So extend one year.
Applied at that point.
Yeah, right.
It's gonna take you on the timeline.
As long as it'll be still on track for September.
Monday night at 1900 hours. Oh, that's Monday.
And then if the part 2 stuff doesn't happen tonight, I can call in next week and we can run through it together. I don't want to not show up and something go awry, but I mean, that I'd be fine with that. We need another month to get our ducks in a row. And do that part 2 stuff, but if Roy comes back with everything, then
Yeah, and council's printing stuff out.
okay. Beautiful. I was over it tonight.
No, I don't multitask well. So if I'm hearing that here.
Somebody's got to cover the chiefs.
Oh, boy.
He's on shift tonight, so if he gets a call, he's,
That's what I'm saying, somebody's got to.
Somebody's gotta answer the call, yeah.
I mean, he could send me, but I don't think he's gonna. He won't let me drive the truck.
Really?
You guys.
I've asked so many times.
Back to this.
I think that's what was just suggested and then,
Sorry.
he would wanna juggle.
Let's give AJ a couple minutes, because he was printing out those forms, I think.
Fine, so we'll wait a couple minutes. So.
Maybe we can have a call.
Do you have a CDL, Chief?
No,
That's probably one drawback.
Yeah,
they need a CDL to drive. Do
Yeah, let's say yes.
that's fine if they don't allow me to, 'cause I don't even know that.
Let's go with yes.
Assuming everything goes according to plan. When you anticipate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So. Let's say we close November 2026. I would say probably 2-year construction season. So we'd be opening fall 2020. Which, would be another election year.
You sit here the day
Same
before
time.
election year.
The Bills won yesterday.
I was there, it was a great game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got a basket in third for us.
finally.
That was pretty good. There are a lot of Giants fans down.
I'm a Giants fan, but of course you watch the Bills, you know, if you wanna watch a good football game.
Condolences.
Yeah, Jets fan here.
hang in there.
Hey, we gotta win on Thursday.
I'm scared next time. Jets. They definitely are the second best team in the league.
You a Bills fan?
Am I a Jets fan?
Oh, Bills.
Bills fan, yeah. I like Aaron Rodgers. I hope to see him do well. I hope that everybody's, I'm just a positive guy.
Hey.
Very political.
But now I'm a fan of Bills. That's when he messes up.
Good attitude. Stick with that one. Yeah, it's, I blame, no, I blame, Robert State. I blame Robert, because he got me hooked, well, he was a fan, he got me hooked I've ever seen. Actually, it's his ticket that you did. That's my point. You're right.
Well, okay, thank you.
Oh, boy.
Coming in the tent.
Here, there, maybe, go ahead.
Right. Oh. Never done one of these before, so you'll have to bear with me.
You gotta go through each question, determine whether it's none to some or moderate, whatever the two check boxes.
So I need to go through all these, name of project and all that stuff also.
We did part two.
They do this one. That's the one to go through.
Alright, so I don't have, we don't have to go through this again.
So if you guys want to see that, that's the one. to do.
Okay. Boy, it's hoping Joe will come back.
Still mine.
That's right. Let's take a break. Impact on land, that's question one. Proposed
You got
action.
10 copies of that?
Yeah, when it printed out like. Page 1, 10 copies.
Oh.
Page 2. Here's 10 copies of.
You gotta read it all the way back.
For them,
Yeah.
yeah, see if we get some sort of,
And there's 10 copies of part 3.
Did he collate for you, huh? Evan?
I guess you think that they would just, I never use that print. It's just kind of page 1. Yeah, maybe it's.
Where was I?
Yeah, just didn't collate. I got enough copies. Oh. It's.
All right, question one, impact on land. Proposed action may involve construction on or physical alteration of the land surface of the proposed site. Yes or no?
Yes.
That'd be yes.
That's page, that's
Part of the-
three.
That's part three, this is part two, so
We
it's
need
not.
two.
Yeah. Part two is like my-
Right.
Not just the yes.
It's just a, it's just a, it's a 10-page
Answer the
document.
questions, it's here.
Part two is more of like a milder severe. So it's not necessarily a yes or no. I think part three basically looks at part two files it, and that's the signed document, and that's what the HDR is gonna be looking for and be like, for this thing, if there's that signed part three. So
One question. The proposed action may involve construction on land where depth to water table is less than 3 feet. Say it a. No?
No,
No, okay. We're in agreement? The proposed action may involve construction on slopes of 15 degrees or greater.
No.
I would say that's a no. The propo-
Chris, question one, and then 1A was what,
Well, one is yes,
and 1A,
is no. And 1B is no. The proposed action may involve construction on land where bedrock is exposed or generally within 5 feet of existing ground surface. So that's a no? Okay. This is why I don't know. I haven't seen any.
So do you have tech report? How would you know?
yeah, we did, we're rock on rock.
There we go. There we go. Interesting.
This is what I'm not, this part's confused me because I don't really know how we would know if there was like 3 feet down. I don't think there is, but the proposed action may involve the excavation and removal of more than 1,000 tons of natural material.
Probably not.
No,
Yeah.
the proposed action may involve construction that continues for more than 1 year or in multiple phases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that could be longer than
Yes,
a year.
okay. The proposed action may result in increased erosion, whether from physical disturbance or vegetation removal, including treatment of herbicides.
It's already developed. We're adding
Yeah,
more
it's
vegetation.
that's all.
Probably less.
Yeah. There's more
Yeah.
vegetation.
The proposed action is or may be located within a coastal erosion hazard area.
No.
So that's a no. We got an option for other impacts.
Chris, what was our answer to that?
Which one was that?
F is no. They're all no except E, yes.
Chris is marking his off, and can you just tell me that one's down?
Get it. Impact on geological features. The proposed action may result in the modification or destruction of or inhibit access to any unique or unusual landforms on the site. Example, cliffs, dunes, minerals, fossils, caves.
Nope.
Sounds like a no to me. Yes, answer A through C. If no, move to section 3. Oh, we're good there. Impacts on surface water. The proposed action may affect one or more wetlands or other surface water bodies. Example, streams, rivers, ponds, or lakes. Okay. No. Just a minute.
A would be no as well.
So we can move to section 4. Right. Impact on groundwater. The proposed action may result in new or additional use of groundwater or may have the potential to introduce contaminants to groundwater or to aquifer.
What's your
Nope.
answer?
We're providing a water quality unit that'll filter out debris.
Okay.
We're not doing any dry wells or infiltration.
Section 5, impact on flooding. The proposed action may result in development on land subject to flooding. Move on to section 7. Impacts on air. The proposed action may include a state regulated air emission source.
Anything there?
Seven. Impact on plants and animals. The proposed action may result in a loss of flora or fauna.
Probably an addition.
No loss. Not a loss. Impact on agricultural resources. The proposed action may impact agricultural resources. No. Nope. Yeah. Impact on aesthetic resources. The land use of the proposed action are obviously different from or in sharp contrast to current land use patterns between the proposed project and a scenic or aesthetic resource.
No,
No.
I think it's gonna make it look better,
Yeah.
that area.
So, yeah, that would be the only thing that's gonna make it look better. Is that a yes or a no?
Well,
Because it doesn't say that.
Yes,
I think it doesn't say negative
Impact.
impact, yeah, but I don't know, the last few.
It'd be a no, it's talking about like Labrador Hollow or some like aesthetic resource that's like
We're not.
state owned.
right,
And
right.
impact on historic and archaeological resources. The proposed action may occur in or adjacent to a historic or archaeological resource.
And then you'll-
Impact on open space and recreation. The proposed action may result in a loss of recreational opportunities or a reduction of an open space resource as designated in any adopted municipal open space plan.
That's a no.
Okay. Impact on critical environmental areas. The proposed action may be located within or adjacent to a critical environmental area.
That's happening, okay?
Yeah. It's it's not identified on the DEC and we'll be doing testing to see if it would.
Okay. And the gas station itself is not a critical environmental area. Okay. Impact on transportation. The proposed action may result in a change to existing transportation systems.
Now, there's a net decrease when you remove all that commercial, when we look at the trip generations, that would be possible. The 60 units are affordable, so that populace has a lot less travel demand than your shoppers that are coming to the strip mall. Obviously, post COVID, there's a lot less demand for some of those retail areas, but the numbers still are going. And we're also, providing that public transportation stop on the home road is a net benefit.
I agree with that, yeah. Paul Gall's question when it came. Yeah. The voice is concerned, but I agree.
Okay. So no for that. Impact on energy. The proposed action may cause an increase in the use of any form of energy.
Yes,
So that one is a yes. So
we are doing roof solar and to offset some of the sustainability.
So for A,
14A.
Yep, the proposed action will require a new. Proposed action will require a new or an upgrade to an existing substation. So we know, so the proposed action will require the creation of an or extension of an energy transmission or supply system to serve more than 50 single or two-family residences or to serve a commercial or industrial use. So that's, fire station. So that would be no or small impact? Yeah. That's what you're,
Small impact is key there.
the proposed action may utilize more than 2,500 megawatt hours per year of electricity. There you go. I don't know if that's a lot or a little.
yeah, I don't.
Sounds like a lot. The proposed action may involve heating and or cooling of more than 100,000 square feet of building area when completed. And for other impacts. Okay, Impact on noise, odor, and light. The proposed action may result in an increase in noise, odors, or outdoor lighting.
Small impact, all our lighting is dark sky compliant.
So if we vote yes on
Said
that.
I guess,
So yes, and then we'll go,
Yes, and then go down,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. So yes, the proposed action may produce sound above noise levels established by local regulation. So that would be a no, I guess. The proposed action may result in blasting within 1,500 feet of any residence, hospital, school, licensed daycare center, or nursing home.
no blasting.
No blasting. Okay. The proposed action may result in routine odors for more than 1 hour per day. And that's a no. Hopefully.
Not a big farm.
The proposed action may result in light shining onto adjoining properties.
No.
So you're saying that, no,
Yeah,
because
our
of
lighting plan
the
shows.
lighting plan, okay? The proposed action may result in lighting creating a sky glow brighter than existing area conditions.
Yeah, it's dark sky compliant.
Okay, impact on human health. The proposed action may have an impact on human health from exposure to or existing sources of contaminants.
Small, I mean,
I just read it, I mean, I don't, is AJ in here?
Just stop that for a second.
So the site is a proposed action currently undergoing. Remediation. So, look at
Which
B
is-
right
yeah.
there. So I don't know, I mean, that's up to you guys whether you want to, I mean,
Well, yeah, I mean, will there be any contaminants when that's coming out?
no, it'll all be done to environmental, New York State Department of Environmental Conservation Regulations, and they have very strict hazmat requirements if the tank is leaking, and right now we just know there's a tank there. And then once we get funded, we'll do,
that's gonna be the first step.
So it's cleaning.
yeah, then we're gonna test the soil around it to see if there's contamination, then once that's tested, we'd either remediate or we'd say, okay, it didn't leak, and just remove the tank. So there's mechanisms in place with DEC oversight.
So I guess the question is, do we answer yes and then no to the sub questions, or is it yes because we're,
Yes, small impact.
Yeah, do yes, then we'll be
Just
just,
we gotta go through these. Proposed action is located within 1,500 feet of a school, hospital, licensed daycare, so that would be,
It is
Close
within
to
the
that.
school.
It's
Yeah,
just a
so
hospital.
it borders the school property line, even though it's not
Just
super close to
school.
the building, the property extends out to.
1,500 feet when it be to Guthrie as well, right? So.
So yes,
I just didn't know the distance between small.
so I don't know how to, well, so we
Is
have
it
no,
small or moderate?
no, or small impact or
Yeah, it doesn't
large.
make sense, right? That's it.
It's a yes or no question, it's not really a.
Yeah, I'd still say no. I mean, I'm small.
I don't think it's, yeah. It is, but it's a small impact. Okay, the site of the proposed action is currently undergoing remediation.
Um,
Not currently. And it'd be a small impact because they're gonna take care of it. There is a completed emergency spill remediation or a completed environmental site remediation on or adjacent to the site of the proposed action. The site of the action is subject to an institutional control limiting the use of the property. Proposed action may affect institutional control measures that were put in place to ensure that the site remains protective of the environment and human health. Now, the proposed action has adequate control measures in place to ensure that future generation treatment and or disposal of hazardous waste will be protective of the environment and human health. So no.
It's kind of the way it's worded, it's worded backwards.
Yeah, it's worded backwards, but I think.
Yeah.
That'd be no for our purposes. Proposed action involves construction or modification of a solid waste management facility. No, the proposed action may result in the unearthing of solid or hazardous waste. Small, yeah, okay. The proposed action may result in an increase in the rate of disposal or processing of solid waste. The proposed action may result in excavation or other disturbance within 2,000 feet of a site used for the disposal of solid or hazardous waste. The proposed action may result in the migration of explosive gases from a landfill adjacent to off-site structures. The proposed action may result in the release of contaminated leachate from the project site. No, small. Okay. 17. Consistency with community plans. The proposed action is not consistent with the adopted land use plans.
No, I'd say it is consistent.
Yes, so the double negative. so.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we can.
Questions. These guys don't think themselves.
Yeah. Consistency with community character. The proposed project is inconsistent with the existing community character, so you say that. I know.
It's better than consistent.
Okay, so
There you
we're done, we're done with that one.
Your birthday, right?
Yeah.
Which one's?
This part, right, yeah.
So this questions that we listed as moderate or large impact, so really,
There was none.
we don't have any.
We are again.
We just,
Status, like, almost.
about part 2 and part 3. Seeker status.
So we checking A this- So then we, on page 2, we
Yeah.
check A, this project will result in no significant adverse impacts on the environment and therefore
Yes.
an environmental impact statement need not be prepared. Accordingly, this negative
Negative
declaration
declaration.
is issued, okay? So. And I have to fill this all out, but actually, lead agency.
I think that could be filled out after the vote. And then we would just get a copy of that filled out part 3.
So we just got the paperwork to do there, otherwise we're done.
Yep.
If you guys don't mind, I'm gonna type this all up.
Yeah.
And have it, I mean, just go by with what you did, and then I'll type it all up and make sure it's, neat, instead of. And then you can, the type copy, you or Joe can sign. Okay,
Yep, that's perfect.
Okay. I think we're good.
I think you need to make a motion.
Yeah. Okay,
Tell me you're done.
so make a motion to declare a negative declaration. All right,
I'll make a
motion. A second. Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, guess we're done with that.
Yeah. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, so do you want, these are. One of those, the ones we filled out. Yeah. Okay. Ready for, next one, Andy? Agenda item number 5, site plan review, 16 Owego Street, John Barton seeks site plan review for construction of a new two-family dwelling. The applicant submitted revised elevation drawings, which may be viewed here. So. Yeah, I guess that's that. All right. Hello,
Face to face.
welcome. Yeah, good. Okay, so. See, we got some latest updated drawings from you. So. I know I still have some questions. I've seen, first of all, this plan here. They don't seem to match, so this seems to be showing the porch extending out from the building. Where your elevation drawings. I think seem to be showing it recessed into the building.
Yeah, they're recessed. I'm not sure what you have or what was sent to you.
It's, what I sent to you on Thursday or Friday last.
There's extra copy there.
Yeah, there's a copy of it right now.
Yeah.
So this is what we got, and it's still showing that.
So that. I think, Mr. Jewett had the ones without this, but this just goes away. That's not there. So whatever the render you have is accurate.
Okay.
Yeah, it walks into the building. Yeah, which I think was shown last time. Yeah, here's. Oh, fine. Yeah, I'm not sure. We can clearly see right here. On these plans that.
What did you have planned for the front here? Is that stonework or simulated stone or?
Well. That's not really. Set in stone, right? I mean, aesthetically. Do you have to know that? Is that something that you absolutely have to know? Into larger issues.
Yeah, I mean, for me, my concern is always, I think this drawing really. It looks nice, but it's sort of. It's implying the depth of the elevation that really isn't there. But. So I do think the materials in this instance.
I would like it to look like this. So I had like 200 and something renders, and this is what. This is what I came up with that I like. I can't tell you the type of camera, I didn't get that far, but. But yes, it'll be a stone, but I just don't know what type of stone.
Okay. I guess I'm still, and my. Biggest problem is that, how close it is. And to the sidewalk or the street and. I guess that doesn't seem like that's changed at all.
Yeah, no, you guys wanted to see what it looked like last time, said you didn't really have any idea what it would look like, so. I put together the elevations and what it'll look like. I don't know what else I can give you on that. It doesn't come out any further than the house next door. So we're not any closer to the street than Gary Seal's house next door.
So the site plan that you're looking at is consistent with what the ZBA provided variances for.
I mean, I guess the only, I have to, John, is you still show your, with basement access coming off the one side of the building. Yeah, we don't have to have that. That was, if Roy says it's okay, we can just put the basement steps inside the house. We don't have, we just do that for, being able to service mechanicals. No, absolutely, makes sense, but I think you're closer to the lot line with that. Yeah, we can take it off. Then 4.2 feet, I don't, and you could almost run something parallel. Yeah. To the house. I'm sure we can put something in the notes or something when it comes to the building permit. Roy and I can put something together, if that's not even necessary, which he said it isn't, so. Right. And how do you do that Velcro door? Is there something structurally, you got a floor wall? That's tied into the foundation. Foundation, you just had the foundation to it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so that'd be a permanent thing that would continue, being that close to the lot now. Yeah, that could go away. I mean, I like the idea of it, but I think you could configure it parallel with the house, so turn it 90 degrees, your stairwell going down. Oh, sure, yeah, I mean. You know what I mean? Or we could just go through the inside of the house. It's not, It's not necessary.
Okay.
It's just something that I like to do. No, I understood. So you don't bother the tenants, but yeah, you put storage down there, whatever, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm still, this is just my thinking. I don't know how the other. Members feel about this, but. I think that the front of the house and the front of the porch of the neighboring property are kind of two distinct things. And if you have a house with a porch on it, it presents very differently than a house all the way up at the front of your porch.
Who's looking at that every day to say, oh my God, this house doesn't look like this house? I mean. If the setback is the setback in the structure, why does that matter? I guess, how does that negatively impact?
Cause I think it makes it look like a giant building on a building that's too big for the lot.
I have the original house, it was two houses built side by side, I mean, this is much more attractive than. Than that building that was there, and it's just about the same square footage. So. I don't know if you guys ever walked the property when the other building was there, but it was.
So, and then that was set back a lot further.
It was, yes, it was set back, but it also had porches on the front, which are now eliminated. Those aren't there anymore.
Right.
Factor in.
And that's kind of Chris's point, though, definitely changes the dynamic of what you're looking at when you walk down the street. Every house around you's got a porch on it. And
Sure, I mean, yeah, they're from
The
100 years
actual
ago.
sort of multi-story structure is set back slightly from the porch.
Well, on that side of the street, you got Gary Seal's house, and you got a house on the corner, then going the other way, you got a couple houses in a supermarket. So there's not a lot of houses on that street up to where, wherever that street is, where the supermarket is. There's not really much on that street, and across the street, that's two houses on one lot. They're directly across. So I'd say that that's a very mixed structured street.
I'd have to look again. I don't know if any of them are this close to the.
I mean, this rendering here. That kind of gives it some depth, that almost gives the appearance that it is a porch there. So that's,
Well, that's to break it up, so it doesn't look like a box, right?
yeah,
Right, so. Is that what you're saying is a good thing?
well, yeah, I mean.
Oh,
this-
okay, yeah, sorry, I didn't know if you were,
No, not at
Okay,
all.
yeah,
Right, I mean, this
so-
gives that,
sure,
I don't know if that's accurately shown on your other renderings or elevations, but.
yeah, so the key is to give it more of a three-dimensional look. So,
Sure.
when I sat down with the designers, this is what they did. It'll be a beautiful looking house, I mean,
A small portion was cut off the bottom of that photo.
Yeah, I think it came.
The photo itself goes to ground level.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any more questions? I'm just looking, I think that the house next door is probably about 25 feet wide. And you're proposing one that's 38, so it's significantly bigger than the.
right, but the existing structure that was there. Was not, it was almost the same square footage, it was,
I don't,
you can look it up.
to me, I don't know that that has any relevance to what what you're proposing now.
And then Gary Seals gave up his driveway as well, and that's all gonna be green space. So. this portion of the driveway is gone. So now there's gonna be more green space between this building and the house that's his house. I think there's actually less structure here than there was before, because there was also a 3-car garage on those parking spaces, that we also tore that down too. So there's a lot less structure on this. Than,
So this is very crude measurements. I'm doing it on Google Maps. Looks like the old structure was roughly 32 by 50. Whereas this new structure is 38 by 50, but the old structure had setbacks.
right, but I don't think that picture that you're looking at, because the porches were taken off a long time ago. So you had the porches back in, which are no longer there. I think the footprint may be slightly smaller than what was there. And I've owned this house for 14 years. There was almost no space around this house when I got it. And Gary Seals has tried to help too, by giving up his portion of the driveway, making that green space. I think he'd like to see this happen, or he wouldn't have done all that.
I guess I'm also confused. I'm not really sure how that. You're adding green space. It's not really adding green space because he's gonna have it instead of shared driveway, you're gonna have 2 separate driveways.
I don't know, that's just what.
He's putting his driveway on the other side of the house, right?
Yeah,
But it adds the buffer, I mean, it is. An act.
Well, I think with the shared driveway. You would actually have more room on your lot.
I don't know, maybe.
Because half your drive lane would be in his property. Now your entire driveway.
Yeah, I'd have to see the old, I don't have anything to compare it to, so. I don't know that, but it's a perfectly functioning property. We've come a long way to get to this point. A long way.
How does everybody else feel?
My opinion is, the variances went through to say yes to what he's asking to do. It kind of, to me, ties our hands. I think this is a huge improvement from the box that we originally looked at. It was like, no way. I still think the property is way too big for that lot, but you've got the variances to
Make it work.
Yeah. You've already got those approved, so here we're picking stones at it. Is it gonna be the property that stands out to really highlight the neighborhood? No, this one's not gonna be. It's gonna be a nice looking house because of what the improvements that you made. It's too big of a structure on that property, but I think you're approved to do it. So I just think as long as we hold your feet to the fire and it comes out looking like this, in my opinion. Yeah. I hate to say it because I'd love to see you shrink it down. It's the right thing to do, but I think you're right to build this property. That's my opinion.
Yeah, the rendering is healthy, it's in my opinion, it avoids that box of now, if this is what you end up doing. I'm gonna agree with that.
Yeah, that is it. I just don't know what type of stone, because there's a lot of different
I'm
products.
not worried about that.
But
So breaking it up and it makes it look like more of a house in a box. No, that's the
And
issue. Oh, yeah.
I'm still concerned about the parking and how many people you're gonna have in there. I mean, I still think if you're gonna have, say you do student housing is your choice, you need to provide some means of parking for whatever.
Oh, yeah. Like I told you before, I owned, 14 and 16 Prospect Terrace in Royal Tiger. There's no parking. It's 4 cars in a row, 4 cars in a row. And 14 had, there's no room. That's why he's got rid of them. So that wouldn't make any sense for me. You know, all the houses I had at our student housing have a lot of parking. I'm not saying that students won't ever live here. Yeah, I'm just saying, we're gonna, I wanna write that in, the fact, that whatever, if it does become student housing, you need to provide parking somewhere, not on this property. Not on this property.
We're not gonna give the, we're not gonna approve.
Yeah,
Yeah, regardless of what type of housing it is, you know,
right. Well,
if it could be students, and that's.
for me, what's been working for me is people that aren't students, because I've got empty houses right now. You know, I've got like 3 empty houses. There's so much student housing that everybody's turning everything into student housing. So sometimes it's easier to get a long-term tenant. You know, that you can probably get $2,500 a month for out of each unit for 2,000, you know? But you can't do that if you don't have the square footage, if you don't have the double bathrooms, you're just not gonna get it. And then it won't make sense for the investment. So, you know, that's my, that's the way I think on this, you know.
Well, you know, I do like, I mean, I think the drawings are very impressive, but I do think there's a lot in there, like the trim's wider, so it's not, you know. So I think we should establish that here, that, you know, what you're talking about is putting those details in.
Yeah, that's exactly what it'll look like. The only thing I put on the record is the top, where, so not the first floor, not the second floor, go up to the peak.
Yeah.
I don't personally care for the way that was drawn, so maybe that'll be, you know, cedar shake or something. So it might look.
But the fake roof line adds a lot to that, right? I mean, that adds, because if you just do that as one
Just
big
talk about the
table.
basing here.
Yeah, materiality,
The vertical,
you could do whatever. you
Yeah,
I'm not crazy about it, but they were already drawn in it.
And I think the little roof going across adds a lot.
Great stuff.
It breaks it up, and just having. The reason I asked about the stone, personally for me, and I'm speaking for everybody, I'd rather see 3 different materials than like the vinyl siding stuff.
Oh, yeah, I'm not Jim Raiders, nothing against like what he does, but he just throws vinyl siding up all the way up, like, I'm not gonna do that. I want my stuff to stand out a little bit more and be a lot nicer, you know? I don't wanna just wrap everything with vinyl siding, that's kind of not really appealing to me, but not in a new house, you know?
Yeah, we agree.
Well,
I still have,
agree with
I
you.
still have my concerns, and there seems to be a consensus, so.
I
don't know.
Consensus, I don't think there's anything we can do to limit it, that's my percent.
I mean, I really want to see move forward is what I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, the hole in the ground's not helping anybody.
Yeah, I appreciate that, I mean. I think, well, I don't know if people drive around and look at houses, but I think what most of the town, if they looked at it, say, wow, it's really nice, when it's done, you know, wow. Something good for the city, you know, something that looks nice and new, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's too big. But
No, and I mean, I'm not happy with the size of it, but I'm not trying to hold, you know. I'd like to see something move forward and something done with this
Yeah.
project. I'm happy to see the old house gone, and so I don't want.
Yeah, I tried my best,
Yeah,
so I appreciate it, you know?
and I'm also, you know. I don't, you know, personally, I don't care if you're into students, young people, whatever. I'm more concerned about what the product, you know. What it looks like and how it's kept up. Those are, I think, what
Yeah.
should be the concerns. So,
Yeah, no,
all right, does anybody have any more concerns they want to bring up or want to make a motion?
as long as we mention the parking and Roy can handle that and the basement access to be moved, so it's not as close to the lot line. It's part of the agreement. I don't know how we hold.
can you just approve it and just say on the record that we're not gonna do. Yeah, that's where we're trying to get to. Okay. I mean, I don't know if we'll all get there, but I think we might get enough to get you.
So with regard to the basement, what do you want on the record?
Well, it can't be any closer than the 4.2, which is the closest point that was kind of called out in the variance to begin with.
Right. Basement may not be closer.
The basement access. To the lot center.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it just can't be closer than that 4.2 from the neighboring column.
Or the side setback has to remain 4.2, so it doesn't matter what they build.
Yeah.
Right. 4.2.
Yeah,
Yes, you don't have to mention the,
How many inches is 0.2?
let's see.
We don't wanna say that. Cause it gets wider. As it approaches the street. So if we said that, you could put that wall angle and make the house even bigger.
Yeah, no, we can't make the house bigger. We're agreeing to the footprint he's got in here.
yeah, we're holding to the footprint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're approving this as he provided a proper survey and what he's proposed, so it's got to say that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Hold them to, feature the fire, you could ultimately, sorry to interrupt, but condition of. Like site plan approval would be all these things, you have to talk about the specifics of 4.2 feet, all these things, any future. Certificate of zoning occupancy, it's not gonna be issued if the construction is inconsistent with what's being approved here.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that should be in there.
The exception,
And that, kind of is a good show of good faith on his part, he's never gonna be able to rent it if he doesn't follow through with what you guys are may or may not grant.
so the exception being the way that the front porch and stairs are drawn here. So other than that. What was in the site plan included in the supporting documents for the agenda. Is what we're referencing.
That contingent, like KJ almost said, that's if you minus the basement, minus the front porch.
Yeah, and we label those around.
Yeah.
Well, so the certificate, the motion would be put in the form of, that no certificate of occupancy will be issued. If there's substantial variance from the site plan. Right,
Substantial.
well, or
Yeah, right, we'll check it doing his foundation plan inspection.
Can you guys just sign it? I'll be warned in a couple of days without those on there. You just do that?
Well, we'll just put it verbally and absolutely, following up, that's just good.
Yeah, then it's just like, here it is, and you guys just.
Yeah, but I think you can do it through the narrative, Andy, just, exception being the front porch stairs and the basement access. But not it's.
you want to submit an updated site plan reflecting the change in the porch.
I think I have it.
You can come in. We'll sign, both sign off of what's on record.
In the meantime, we'll get this in the way before our approval today.
Yeah, we can approve it, I think, based on what they're saying.
Approvals, condition,
Yeah.
approved condition on submission of a new site plan. That's
Right.
consistent with what you guys
Yeah.
are doing today, so.
Yeah, that's why you get paid $3. And those plans will be the staircases. You want to be in the lot line.
All right, so if we could,
So the 2 points, the 2 points that he's putting in now, the consistency would be the staircase not being more than 4.2.
I think we also got the porch is gonna be recessed into the building rather than extended it.
Right.
On this, survey map. That the Bilco door. The basement door is not within, however it's situated, not within 4.2 feet of the property line.
Right. Well,
And there's no CO will be issued. With significant deviation from the elevation drawings.
yeah, because they're not shown out here.
Right. So if you could just, it's A1, A10 or something, in those elevations. It clearly shows us it's not there. So you're actually looking at,
Well, I think because we're also sort of approving this too with your parking plan and your,
yeah,
you know, the location of the building. This is showing where everything is
yeah, that's true.
minus the front porch. Everything else is
Right.
the front porch and the basement steps. Everything else, I think, is, we're okay with.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep, correct.
Okay, can we get a motion with those conditions?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
So, we have you read back to us before we vote.
Motion was adopted to approve the site plan with the condition that an updated site plan be submitted, whereby the basement access is not more than 4.2 feet from the property line. And less than.
Not less than this.
Less than,
Yeah.
That space.
yeah, not less than, thank you. And front porch to be recessed, or to be not recessed, but in line with the facade.
Recess.
Does not extend, does not.
Well, that they maintain the 13-foot front setback that they're already approved for.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, we're all in agreement, right? These space roofs are gonna be hanging closer to that 13 feet that's shown on here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's exactly right.
I don't think they can also be footprint.
No, I don't either. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
well, yeah, you're a proponent of it.
do you want something on the record about?
You guys lines there, so if I understand.
No, because it's shown on the.
They're showing it on here. I think we're okay with
Okay,
that.
so the motion would be approved on condition of submission of an updated site plan.
Yeah.
Where the basement is not less than 4.2 feet from the property line. And the front porch is not less than 13 feet.
And that's, yeah, certificate of occupancy contingent upon following this rendering. Sure.
We okay with that? No,
So this date.
no CO with significant deviation from elevation drawings? Or sort of,
That probably covers it.
Yeah. Say that again.
no CO will be issued with significant deviation from the elevation drawings.
And rendering.
And
And
rendering,
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
we're using that as our,
Well, which rendering, because there's two there, isn't there?
we're talking about the main colored one.
As we slide this into.
It's the most recent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
I mean, they're the same, aren't they?
I mean, I don't, the problem is I don't want to like be able to not change his materials like on the top. Yeah. I guess that we're not calling that significant, right?
Right.
Now,
Okay. We're all in agreement.
I put,
Yeah, I like the flexibility.
Yeah.
I put in the minutes,
I think the different materials is what's,
Yeah, that's what I want.
what's adding to it and the peak elevations. I think that's what's pushing you over the edge.
Mr. Bard stated that the structure will look like the elevation drawings and imagery included in the agenda supporting documents, with the exception that it may use a different design or material above the second story. I put that just as part of the minutes.
I wouldn't put design in.
I wouldn't put design because that opens the door for
Material.
third floor.
Yeah, right.
You saying different material,
Yeah.
sound good? I mean, do you agree that with that's, as I stated, you having said, Mr. Barnes stated that the structure will look like the elevation drawings and imagery submitted here, with the exception that he may use different material above the second story.
Yeah, I would just say no exterior basement entrance will be built and.
Well,
AJ, this work for you?
we were given the option of if you could fit it in
Wording?
Yeah.
and keep it. If you can place it such that it's still
That's up to you. I'm not gonna stop it if you don't do it.
Okay,
But it's up to you.
okay. Yeah,
Just
that's-
have,
My reference there was talking about the facade of the building,
yeah, oh, yeah, sure.
that
On the pitch,
it's gonna look like the image. But above the second story, you may use different materials.
Yeah, and he really hasn't defined what he's gonna use in the second floor.
Right.
Yeah, he do, so he can't, just, I don't know if we just have to make that point.
And ultimately, this is gonna have to go through the building permit process.
Sure.
So. Extra level of checks, but.
Yeah,
I think by covering the rendering, should be
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, we want it to look like this.
you wanna keep the
Very
design
close.
intent, the design intent.
Yeah.
showing
Once you get checked.
What you want.
all right, so
We still gotta vote.
Oh, yeah.
we have,
I made a motion.
I made a motion,
Got a
we have a second.
Like, well,
Yeah.
Jim already seconded.
Yeah, we
Jim,
got,
did
you
you
guys,
second?
Yeah, Brendan, and,
Jim already got a second, any more?
Andy, I didn't motion.
oh, I'm sorry, I thought that,
Mike.
Mike did,
Mike did.
Mike, Jim, Mike and Jim.
Yeah.
All right, any other discussions on that? We close.
I think we've done that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Other than me, I'm gonna say I'm opposed. Passes.
thank you, thanks, guys.
Yeah. I'm glad that we've moved past this.
Yeah, me too, it's, didn't wanna fill it in.
What's your time frame?
Well, we're coming into winter now.
They really can't pour a foundation.
Really, I mean,
You gotta secure that property, make sure it's safe.
We got,
yeah, we have, I mean, you and I'll talk about that, maybe we can put some. I was gonna put 10 fence in like chain link, but I really didn't wanna.
Should give Mr. Teno a call, he's got some more substantial construction fencing.
Oh, the deer fence?
No, this is substantial construction fencing, this is like 10-foot chain link.
Yeah, we've got two.
That's, well, you would have it too.
Yeah, I just. Was trying not to chain link the,
Well, not permanent chain link. it's just-
Yeah.
it's
yeah, we
temporary.
can talk about that if you and whoever else want to.
Yeah, what do you
No problem. Yeah.
Use that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Okay,
Thanks, guys.
thank you.
thank you.
Oh, old business.
Speaking of all business, I forgot to do one thing with Christopher Community, we gotta extend that site plan.
We did.
Oh, you did?
We did that for,
We were gonna have paperwork, we took care of it.
yeah, we took care of that while you were
On the
gone.
ball, Roy.
Yeah.
Let's check up on us.
So we got time extension for previously approved site plan work. Request for extension to time to complete previously approved site plan work may be added to the agenda and proceed. Oh, this is just a.
yeah, we
standard thing.
we don't have anything.
We don't have anything.
Everybody read.
Then we gotta, look at the minutes. Did anybody look at the minutes and find anything they wanted to make corrections to? If not, can we get a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
October minutes,
Motion to approve the October minutes.
second. For a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, got that. I guess we gotta just adjourn. Anybody want to adjourn? Sure. Motion to adjourn?
Very good.
Brendan.
You got it.
Thank you. You don't even need a second.
No,
Okay.
Good job.
Oh,